Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Adriana and I create videos in regards to your happiness, finding your purpose, and literally just about anything in regards to basically living the life you desire. And so in this video, I want to give you guys some kind of background and talk to you guys about my journey and how I arrived at just living the life that I'm living. Is a lot different than how I was raised. So if you are kind of in the space of just trying to figure out why you're stuck and how you can get over that hump and, just live the life you desire, definitely stay tuned because this is for you. I think a lot of people get to this place in life where they're like, I know I want to do more, but there's something blocking me, whether it's relationships or whether it's religion or anything like that. So I'm going to talk to you guys about mine and how I got to this place and even what that looks like for me. So if this resonates with you, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when I post new videos. Fair warning guys, my hair keeps blowing in my face even though it's not windy, and also my kitchen is making so much noise, and usually when it's not my kitchen making noise, it's people outside cutting grass. I just can't seem to find the best time to create a video, so just bear with me and hopefully you can stay focused regardless of all the noise that's going on. All right, so let's just get right into this video and let's just talk about that. So I grew up, well, let me stop real quick. This is my perspective, guys. I'm not trying to influence, I'm not trying to talk bad about any particular area. This is my perspective, my point of view, and I'm just going to be sharing that. So keep that in mind when I'm sharing. I'm not trying to tell you to do the same necessarily in this order, because when you take this journey of trying to find out the truth or trying to figure out where your place is in life, you're going to get to different phases. So this is just to encourage you, to provide support, to provide enlightenment. So just keep that in mind as I continue to go forward. Okay. So just so you guys know, I did grow up as a Christian in a Christian background. My grandparents are pastors and things of that nature. And so that is how I was indoctrinated. That's what I knew. I lived and breathed church. And when you grow up in church, everything is fine because you're like, okay, this is what you're taught. It's not really until you get older and you really start using your brain a little bit more, for the most part, you start trying to figure out how that resonates with your life. And I always share my age because I don't really care, but now that I'm 30, and even before I got to 30, I just really started within like the last year and a half, going on 2 years, just had this desire to really use my freaking brain and more so start questioning things and kind of challenge those things that no longer resonated with me, because I'm that type of person where I don't like to be lied to. I don't like to be confused and kind of in the unknown. So we all know the pandemic was very, I don't need, there's many words you can describe the pandemic. And so I think that kind of kick-started my kind of truth-seeking journey. I guess I'll call it truth-seeking journey. And so I began to question everything from, yes, my religion, being a Christian, the news, the politics, and our history. And so I kind of set out to figure out the truth, and I will definitely tell you it wasn't necessarily easy, passive. There was a lot of different emotions in the process. So I think that's always something to consider when you're going to do a journey and you're going to be searching for the truth, because a lot of times we're taught so much and then we go, oh, that sounds about right, and we never challenge or question, a lot of times because we're taught in school, religion, church, whatever, to not question and to just trust. And I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore, because in doing that, I feel very limited. I felt very kind of oppressed. I kind of felt stuck. So I was like, there got to be more to this life. You can't tell me that we are here and we're not able to really enjoy this life, that we're here but not supposed to be of the world, and we're supposed to fear death and burning in hell forever, or reap the reward of going to hell. There was just certain stuff that just wasn't sitting with me. And it did start with religion. It did start with Christianity because I'm like, I don't like to be confused. And the Bible, and mind you, I've been in church like all my life. The Bible, when I was reading it, and I have no problem reading it and doing research, but I was like, there's certain things that were not adding up. And so I set out to research and to read and try to understand, more of the history behind religion. And I will say this, and you guys can do your own research, because guess what? You got eyeballs and you got a brain and you have the time to do it if you really wanted to. But I set out to figure out, why religion was created, whose hands was in religion, and what the purpose is. And there's so many different resources out there that basically tell you the truth of how they use religion to manipulate and to control. So I'm gonna leave it there because, like I said, there's things out there that tell you these things. So it's not me just saying they're trying to manipulate and control you and they want you to live fear, because when people fear you, you can be controlled. Just think about when you're children, when they have fear in you, you kind of control them and can get them in order. Same thing with religion and whatever. So just keep that in mind. There is a lot of resources out there that make it very easy for you to kind of plow through some of those questions or areas if you kind of feel stuck. And so I will say this, it was an emotional whirlwind for me, because as I began to dive deep into these things, I was devastated. And I'll go back a little bit just to tell you that in my journey of trying to find the truth, honestly, I was hoping that the error was with me and that maybe I wasn't understanding something. So it was like, okay, I was researching, aggressively researching hours. I would say for about a year, minimum of 6 hours a day was I looking, researching, studying, watching videos, and compiling all this information. And so, I was really, really in there, and I was really, really trying to find the truth. So just in case you're like, what did you really research? Yes, I did. And even with religion, from the New Testament to the Old Testament, I really just wanted to piece the things together. And I'm also that type of person who, I don't have a problem trusting and having faith, but it was just to the point where I'm like, there's a lot of missing pieces. Why is it, for example, that Jesus is always coming back? They've been talking about that forever. There's always been wars and rumors of wars, and then, the last thing he said was 2,000 years ago, and then there was nothing. And they were constantly waiting. And I don't like my emotions played with. So there's certain things that I'm like, So I began to search into that. And the more that I looked into it, the more that it backed me out of it. And I'm like, wow, this is ridiculous. Why didn't I never question this before? And I know you're in religion and certain things you're not really confident or told to really question the pastor or the Bible. You're just supposed to trust, have faith. And of course, in life and in certain, sorry guys, my hair. There we go. I'm not editing this part out. This is truly me, guys. So yeah, there's certain things in life where you just, you have to bring it up, and you have to be bold enough to be the black sheep, or be the person to really know the truth is your life. You're responsible for it. So I will say that, some of the hardest parts is being able to get this information and being able to be bold enough to take the step to realize the truth. And then sometimes you have to be strong enough to kind of, I won't say keep it to yourself, but you'll have to realize that not everybody is willing to take this journey. Not everyone is bold enough to know the truth emotionally, because you got to think about it. If you know somebody who is older than you, like a parent or something like that, who's been in a religion or something like that longer than you literally, by sharing this information or by them stepping into that, are literally ripping out their foundation. So for me though, which was very interesting, because I'm always kind of on the fence about, not like on the fence, but more so kind of keeping my eye out on things. When I found out more of the truth, I was devastated. I was happy, I was sad, I was angry, and I had all these emotions, like I stated, because I wish I knew sooner, but I was grateful that I knew. And as soon as I processed everything, I felt a weight like lift off of me. I felt that I could live again. I felt that, I didn't have to worry about making mistakes and like, oops, wrong mistake, I'm going to hell. Ooh, was that good enough? Was that prayer reaching? Will I be really forgiven? All this stuff, I didn't want that anymore. And so beyond that point, and if you can get to that point to get to know the information for yourself, there is a big old bright light, a huge one at the end of the tunnel, and you can begin to live your life, and you can begin to relax and understand that life is a journey, life is a process, that even if you fail or make mistakes, you know, you don't have to be looking to spend your life in eternity burning. And I mean, even if you die, if you think that sounds good to be in heaven and singing praises and carrying on all day, then that's fine. I never thought that was appealing, but that's just me. So yeah, so I just decided to continue to look into different things. And you know, you get to one place, you study something, it either sits with you or doesn't sit well with you. And I have never so far had the desire to like run back to safety or run back to religion, because I realized that it just wasn't, it's not for me. And you know, I will say good things has happened to me praying and being a Christian, but I think learning about energy and, you know, focusing on different things, I feel like instead of it being that because I prayed to Jesus or something like that, I know it was my energy that was focusing on those things that I wanted, that allowed me to manifest the things that I desire. And one of the biggest things that's also very freeing to me is like understanding that yes, I'm not going to be burning in hell all my life if I make mistakes, but then also that I don't have to feel guilty or bad about wanting to be prosperous and wealthy, because I think they say being wealthy is evil. And that was always an issue for me, because being the person that I am, I'm a very giving person. So I'm like, so it's wrong for me to want to be wealthy and feel bad about having a lot of money, knowing what I want to do with it, and even just providing a better life for my children. And so I just didn't like those certain things. Now, one piece of advice I would give you, again, your decision, is if you decide to take a spiritual journey or just a journey to truth. I mean, there's too many resources to list them, but I feel like it's better for me to kind of have prompted you in this video by telling you there are resources out there. So go ahead and start researching, and then you come up with your own resolve and where you lay flat. And yeah, but I was saying, you know, go ahead and look into that, but then also, you know, learn that this is for you. Not everybody's going to come along. So if you have a spouse or something, it would be wonderful if they come along and can be there with you, because it kind of gets lonely. So I have my husband that, you know, he understands, we're together on it, we agree, we're rocking out, and that makes it beneficial. But you can't expect everybody to understand. Now, one thing back to what I was going to say is beneficial is we took over a year off of social media, not just logged out and checked in periodically. No, over a year of not being on social media to really study and tap into this information, because we really wanted to know the truth. We didn't want any distractions, and I know social media can be distracting at times. So like, if we are on here, we are going to slow down this process. There's so much information, and you know, there's just so much, and you can expect to spend a little bit of money. So I bought 3 books. So actually, let me go ahead and tell you this part. This is fun. So actually, like I said before, I hopped out of religion and kind of threw my hands up with it. I actually dove in a little bit deeper and basically tossed myself out. So I got a different Bible to try to understand. I kind of learned some hermeneutics, and then I got 3 books that literally explain the book of Revelations, because Revelations is what got me. Some of that just stuff, I'm like, that don't even make sense. Like, they got all these. If you ever read Revelations, you already know what I'm going to say. They say Jesus got a tattoo on his thigh. Then they got this dragon and breasted woman and whore. And I'm like, what in the world? So yeah, that right there, it didn't, the trumpets, the horns, the what, the bowls. I'm like, I'm hungry. What? Bowls of what? Cereal? No, just kidding. Sorry. That's not funny. But anyway, yeah, it was just too much. And so I found books and resources to help me understand those. And even with that, I was like, wow, this is complete confusion. And so one of the things that I think is what keep people stuck, and this is just my personal perspective is a lot of times pastors that I know of, it's not very popular except for like a John MacArthur, a Voddie Baucham, if you guys are familiar with them. And I mean, I commend them for taking the time to do the study that they do, but a lot of pastors don't preach expository preaching, which means they don't help people understand the scripture even at face value for whatever. So they just use it topically, and it becomes more of an empowerment service as opposed to even understanding that type of stuff. So there are principles. So let me just clear that up. There are principles and things that I think are still valuable. Like, of course, you don't kill, steal, do any of that type of stuff, but I don't think you just let people walk all over you and turn the other cheek and, you know, be meek and submissive and, you know, don't find your voice and, you know, all of that. There's some yays and there's some nays. So I personally don't use the Bible and be like, well, let me just keep the Bible because of these principles. No, there's not enough in there for me to go, yeah, I'm still going to read the Bible and kind of piece apart, you know, the stories. Again, you'll find out if they're true, not true, metaphors or not. I mean, there's just a lot of information, but I don't want to say that to discourage you, but take your time. Like I said, if you can unplug from social media to really focus, I would highly recommend that. And guess what, guys? If you do that, you will survive. I survived, and I was on social media all the time before, posting, and everybody always commenting, you're always on Facebook, you're always on there. And I was so concerned about my future and knowing the truth that I was like, it is no thing to log out and go ahead and get this information so I can figure out where my life is. And it's been going great. I mean, the floodgates of knowledge and manifestation and just peace. I mean, my perspective has changed even more when it comes to life, and I can enjoy life. I can be able to kind of go with the flow and just be able to realize it's a journey, and I'm supposed to enjoy this experience. I can manifest the life I desire and not have to feel guilty, and I can live in life without fear, because fear is just crippling. Ugh, it just is crippling, and you don't have to be fearful. You can trial and error. You can, you know, make mistakes and learn from them. You don't have to worry about failing and just, you know, all of that negativity that comes with religion and some other stuff. So another thing I want to clear up is I'm not agnostic. I'm not an atheist at all. I definitely believe in divine. I believe in source energy, you know, the universe. So I'm definitely not saying that we came from, you know, nowhere or anything like that. It's just the teachings and how they use that stuff. So it's like they don't use energy and source. They use people and some other stuff. So again, research. You always have to do your research, because if you try to take on somebody else's information, it will maybe not resonate with you. So I want you to do your own research, and I would love to hear in the comments if you've already been on this journey, if you've already kind of gotten to this place and how much more freeing you feel. Put that comment in the comments, because I would love to hear and reply. Again, I'm not trying to motivate you to leave religion if you're not ready. I think that when you come to a point and you're just fed up, you'll get there. And I mean, I would never judge anybody, like even the people in my sphere that are still in religion, I don't shame them, but I don't always engage in the conversations about certain stuff. I just let them talk, and I, you know, nod my head, but I'm not agreeing that, you know, but I'm also not going to bash them, because there's no benefit in trying to push somebody to be somewhere that they're not ready to be at. And unfortunately, I've had to come to realize some people may never wake up and get to this point, and it's their life to live. If they want to live it in fear and doubt and worry and get stuck, it is what it is. So guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it provided some enlightenment and encourage you to take that step to journey and figure out where you are in life, what you want in life, and be able to live a life you desire. All right guys, until next time, ta-ta for now, and I will see you in the next video.